back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about student loans. Student loans is a topic that I'm super passionate about because it's a situation that I am currently in, and I think most of my subscribers and my clients, they have student loans. And the reason that they're so heartbreaking is because you are starting adulthood, you are taking charge of your finances, and you're already negative. Like, that hurts so bad when you're just starting out, and most people out of college or out of high school are not particularly high income earners. So that's definitely a challenge, and a challenge that I love to help people with. The number one thing I look at when a client has student loans is there potential to refinance? So what I mean by refinancing is, if you don't know, a company pays off your current balance with your current company, and then you make your payments to the new company at a lower interest rate. Obviously, you only refinance if the new company can offer you a lower interest rate. So for me, I had Sallie Mae as my private student loans at first. I hate Sallie Mae. I think they're a terrible company. I think they take advantage of their consumers. So what I did was I refinanced through Earnest. Earnest, I've had a wonderful experience with them. I would highly recommend them. They got me from an 8% interest rate with Sallie Mae to a 3.74 interest rate. That is huge savings. I can't even iterate how many thousands of dollars that saved me. So along with Earnest, two other companies that I would recommend for refinancing are Credible and SoFi. Those are two companies that I have read great reviews about, and that I considered refinancing when I was going through that process. So another thing about student loans, there's two categories. There's private and there's public. Public are the ones owned by the federal government, and they come with certain benefits. So one of the benefits is that if you make your payments on time for 10 years, that they can potentially get erased. Or if you're a public servant for 10 years and you make your payments consistently. Another thing is that, all this time it hasn't been accruing interest. However, that does start in January of 2022. So all this time your balance has been sitting there, thankfully not accruing interest, but in January those will kick back up. Another third benefit of federal student loans, which is a potential benefit, is that Biden or whoever might potentially forgive X amount of student loans, and we don't know when that would happen. We don't know how much he would forgive, and we don't know if there would be income criteria to receive that forgiveness. So you give up that potential by privatizing your loans, but again, it's a gamble. I mean, you have no idea if that's actually going to happen or if that's just people talking about potentially forgiving loans. We have no idea. So for me, a rule of thumb is if your federal student loans are above a 6%, I would consider refinancing and losing those potential benefits, because more than likely it's going to take you several years to pay your student loans, depending on the amount, and interest is so important. You can pay $10,000 more over the life of your loan by not refinancing. So that is something that I work with my clients on. We get the paperwork together. And then the other thing that I want to discuss regarding student loans is, what lifestyle should you be having? Because I know I myself struggled with everything that was an optional expense. I kind of stressed about, because I was like, well, this $25 that I'm spending here, I could have been putting towards my loan. And that's a slippery slope, because then, you don't want to live with anxiety about every single purchase you make. So my ideology behind this is that you should live in moderation. You should not be splurging all the time. You should not be eating out all the time. You should not be shopping all the time. But you can do those things semi-often. So for me, instead of eating out every weekend, we eat out every other weekend. Instead of spending $100 while shopping, I spend $50. So you need to find, which is what I work with my clients, finding a happy medium that works for you. Because if you feel restricted and like you can't spend anything and you're stressing, that system is not working for you. So that's why it's so important to find a system that does work for you, finding exact dollar amounts that you can spend and that you feel comfortable spending, and figuring out what you can contribute to your student loans each month. The other important thing that I would say is that even contributing a small amount to your loan is much better than nothing. $25 a month is better than $0 a month. I will die on that hill trying to convince people that a little amount is better than none. So again, it's a sad situation to be in because you feel overwhelmed, but a little by little that amount will go down until it's zero. And if you need help, please reach out. That's what I'm here for. And thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate you guys. And please comment below any questions or comments that you have. And I'll see y'all later.